Evil does not always come cloaked in shadow. Sometimes it smiles, it flatters, it shakes your hand. There's a certain kind of darkness that doesn't need to raise its voice. It doesn't storm into your life with fire and fury. It drips in, quietly, like a toxin. It wears the mask of charm. It quotes virtue. It pretends to care. And before you know it, you're tangled in its web, drained, doubting yourself, a stranger to your own sense of peace. But Stoicism, the ancient armor of reason and clarity, was built for this. It teaches us that not every enemy wears a uniform, that some of the greatest battles we'll ever fight are psychological, emotional, invisible to the world but corrosive to the soul. This isn't just about bad people. This is about the truly malicious, the manipulative few who twist truth into lies and empathy into a weapon. The ones who smile as they sabotage, who take and take, leaving you wondering if you imagined the harm. Evil in its most dangerous form isn't obvious. It's subtle, it's calculated, and it thrives on your silence. But not today. In this video, we'll uncover 5 distinct signs, patterns so precise, so revealing, that once you see them, you'll never unsee them. And as we walk through them together, guided by the unshakable lens of Stoic thought, you'll learn not just to identify evil, but to disarm it, to protect your peace, to reclaim your power. You'll hear the echoes of Marcus Aurelius reminding us, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. And yet the first defense is recognition. So don't look away. Don't minimize the feeling in your gut. Don't get fooled by appearances. Because some people don't want understanding, they want control. And the moment you awaken to that truth, you stop being their victim. Welcome to the lesson they never wanted you to learn. Sign number 1. They manipulate your reality. There is no greater weapon in the hands of the wicked than the distortion of truth. An evil person rarely attacks you with fists. They do not need to. Their battlefield is your mind. Their weapon? Perception. They twist your reality not with brute force, but with subtle illusions, half-truths, and emotional sleight of hand. They gaslight. They question your memory, your sanity, your certainty, not out of confusion, but calculation. You begin to doubt yourself. Did I really overreact? Maybe I'm too sensitive. Maybe I'm the problem. This is no accident. This is design. It is the slow corrosion of your confidence, not through obvious attack, but through constant erosion. This is the evil of manipulation. It's quiet. It's disguised as concern. It hides behind smiles, and it wears the mask of reason. And yet Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, reminds us, if someone can prove me wrong and show me my mistake, I will gladly change, for it is the truth I seek. But what happens when truth is being buried, not revealed? Evil people do not seek truth. They bend it, not to correct you, but to control you. They rewrite history in real time, minimizing their cruelty, exaggerating your flaws, confusing the timeline, distorting the consequences. You begin to walk on eggshells in your own mind. Your reality becomes a house of mirrors, where every reflection lies just enough to make you question which way is forward. And the danger? You stop trusting yourself. Your inner compass, the very core of Stoic strength, gets replaced by their chaos. You become ungrounded. And when you are ungrounded, you are malleable. When you are malleable, you are controllable. This is the essence of evil, not merely to harm you, but to own you without you even knowing. But the Stoic fights back. The Stoic reclaims reason. The Stoic examines evidence. The Stoic grounds themselves not in the noise of the manipulator, but in the still voice of inner truth. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." So you become an unshakable wall. You ask, "What do I know to be true?" You write things down, you seek witnesses. You gather your mind like a warrior gathers their shield. You stop letting your reality be borrowed. Because evil only thrives in confusion, and clarity is your resistance. The moment you reclaim your truth, you break their hold forever. Sign number 2, they harvest your pain for power. You think you're just venting, sharing your struggles, hoping to be heard. But to them, your pain is not a problem. It's a resource, a tool to manipulate you. These people, cloaked in empathy, fluent in false concern, encourage you to bleed out your emotions, not to help you heal, but to stockpile ammunition. Your traumas, they catalog them. Your weaknesses, they memorize them. Your doubts, they echo them back at you when you're most vulnerable. They don't comfort you to soothe you. They comfort you to control you. Marcus Aurelius warned us, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Because when you descend into bitterness, you become the very thing that seeks to destroy you. These people, masters of emotional subterfuge, are counting on that. They hope you'll retaliate, lash out, so they can point the finger and say, "See, I was the victim all along." Your suffering makes them strong, not because it hurts them, but because it gives them leverage. They twist your pain into guilt, your honesty into a weapon. They don't just want to win an argument. They want to win ownership of your mind. Stoic clarity and resolve. So what does Stoicism teach us? To see clearly. To know that just because someone listens doesn't mean they care. That just because someone stays doesn't mean they're safe. And that we must guard not just our time and actions, but our emotions. Epictetus once said, "If someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation." Evil people want you emotional, because emotion is noise, and in the noise they move freely. But when you are calm, they lose control. They lose power. Sign number 3, their kindness is conditional. We all want to believe the best in others, that a warm smile reflects a warm heart, that a generous hand comes from a generous spirit. But the Stoics knew better. Seneca once warned, "A gift given to enslave is not generosity, it is manipulation." The third sign of an evil person is this: their kindness is not a virtue, it is a transaction. It is currency, spent only when there's something to gain. At first they appear saintly. Compliments, attention, offers of help. They play the role of the savior, the loyal friend, the selfless partner. But pay attention, not to what they give, but to why they give. Their kindness is not rooted in character. It is rooted in control. Say no once and watch the transformation. Disagree and see the rage beneath the charm. Set a boundary and feel the frost where warmth used to live. The Stoics remind us, he who gives only to receive has not given at all. Evil doesn't always snarl. Sometimes it smiles. It flatters. It gives conditionally. This is the trade of the false friend. They keep a silent ledger. Every favor comes with invisible ink. You owe me. And when you fail to repay the unspoken debt, they withdraw. They guilt you. Or worse, they punish you. A virtuous person gives because it's right, not because it's profitable. Their kindness endures even when it's inconvenient, even when it costs them. But the evil person? They give only to tether you, and when you are no longer useful, you are discarded like yesterday's currency. This is where Stoicism offers us a shield, to observe without illusion, to love virtue, not charm, to value integrity over flattery. Epictetus taught us, seek not to be loved by the many, but to be loved by the good. Because the world is filled with those who perform goodness, but only few who embody it. So when someone showers you with affection, but recoils when you assert yourself, ask, was their kindness ever real, or was it a mask? True kindness expects nothing. Conditional kindness is a trap, and the Stoic path is not to fall for the bait. Sign number 4, they feed on division and control. In the philosophy of Stoicism, power over others is an illusion. The only true power is mastery of the self. But to an evil person, this is a threat. Because they don't seek harmony, they seek dominance. They feed off fracture. They sharpen chaos like a blade and wield it against those who trust them. They whisper lies behind closed doors. They pit friends against friends, family against family. Not always loudly. Sometimes it's as subtle as a raised eyebrow, a carefully planted doubt, a word left unsaid. Why? Because unity gives people strength, but division weakens us. Confusion makes us easier to manipulate, and control is much simpler when people are too busy distrusting each other to notice the strings. If evil cannot conquer you directly, it will divide you until you conquer yourself. Look closely at how they operate. They'll twist your loyalty until you question it. They'll isolate you, not by force, but by erosion. Erosion of trust, erosion of connection. They position themselves as the only one you can rely on, while dismantling your support system brick by brick. Like a tyrant who creates chaos just to justify their reign of order. Like Nero burning Rome, then blaming the innocent. These people will set the fire and hand you the water, only to tell you the bucket was always empty. The Stoics teach us to keep our judgments aligned with nature and reason. But what happens when your very perception is under siege? When someone rewrites your reality through emotional manipulation and false division, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. They want to stain your soul with suspicion. They want to teach you that love is weakness. That connection is dangerous. That trust makes you a fool, Don't believe them. Because division is not a truth, it's a tactic, and control is not strength, it's desperation disguised as dominance. So what do? You remain still, you remain centered, you watch, not with paranoia, but with clarity. You practice discernment, you ask, is this bringing harmony or feeding conflict? You hold the line, you don't feed the fire. You don't become a pawn in someone else's game. Evil will try to pull you into the storm. But like the Stoic, you must be the rock, unmoved by the crashing waves. He who angers you controls you, Epictetus. And he who divides you controls you even more. They feed on division, but you don't have to be the meal. Cut the strings, step back. Reclaim your inner citadel. Because the most dangerous enemy is not the one who fights you openly. It's the one who convinces you that your allies are enemies, that love is foolish, that chaos is normal, and that you are alone. But you are not alone. Not when you choose reason over fear, virtue over manipulation, clarity over confusion. That's how you win. That's how you rise. That's how you stay free. Sign number 5. They fear your growth. They see your ambition not as inspiration, but as a threat. Your discipline, a mirror to their laziness. Your progress, a spotlight exposing their stagnation. And so instead of climbing with you, they try to pull you back. Not with chains, but with subtle sabotage. They'll disguise it as concern. Don't burn yourself out. Why are you always working? Come on, relax for once. But listen closely. These aren't the words of love. These are the whispers of fear. Fear that you'll outgrow them. Fear that your success will render their excuses hollow. Fear that when you rise, they'll be left behind, exposed, unmotivated, small. Seneca once said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." The evil person? They crave control. They crave to keep you small, because in your smallness they feel safe. You'll notice it in the jokes that cut too deep, the advice that always nudges you off course, the applause that sounds hollow, forced, delayed. It's not just envy, it's survival, because your evolution threatens their illusion. But here's the Stoic truth. You owe no one the comfort of staying the same. The oak tree owes the acorn nothing. The eagle owes no apology to the nest it left behind. Growth is not betrayal. It's nature. And if someone in your life fears that, if your discipline disturbs them, if your light irritates their darkness, you are not dealing with a friend. You are dealing with someone who would rather see you broken than changed. So grow, unapologetically, with fire in your chest and stillness in your soul, because your ascent is your answer. And no evil can keep down a person who has learned to rise from within. So now you know, evil doesn't always come with horns and a hiss. Sometimes it smiles, it flatters, it mimics virtue, but the Stoic does not flinch. The Stoic sees. In a world fogged by illusion, the ability to recognize these 5 signs is not just wisdom, it is armor. Evil thrives where there is silence, where conscience sleeps. But you are not asleep, you are awake. And with awareness comes responsibility, not to change the world overnight, but to refuse to be corrupted by it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. So be unlike them, be the stillness in the storm, be the reason the darkness retreats. Remember, you cannot always choose who walks into your life, but you can choose who stays, who shapes you, and who you become. Walk forward with your eyes open. The world needs more light, and it begins with yours."